This week is a busy week for Canadians. On the table, we saw a second vote on the 2025 federal budget. Okay, so that is behind us, but in front of us, and that is also what I'm going to talk about in this video today, a new wave of nation-building projects, a major G7 summit in Niagara, Ontario, and the opening of a Canadian consulate in Greenland. 3 stories, each connected by one idea: Canada's expanding role in a changing world. Let's begin. It's the eve of another national announcement. Prime Minister Mark Carney is set to reveal the next chapter of Canada's national building strategy, a continuation of September's 5 projects and a continuation of a bold vision. Those are not small undertakings. They are the arteries of a modern country: energy corridors, transportation networks, digital infrastructure, and climate-resilient systems. They are meant to connect a vast nation and prepare it for the century ahead. But ambition comes with complexity. Across Canada, questions are being raised: environmental impacts, long-term accountability, and most important, the role of Indigenous and First Nation communities. Nation building cannot happen without reconciliation. Each project runs through land rich in history, culture, and sovereignty. Agreements must be negotiated, not imposed. And when conflict arises between elected councils and leadership, the path forward could be difficult, sometimes painful. The federal government says those projects will respect constitutional and inherent rights. But respect must be more than a line in a statute. We must be accountable, because we have seen what happens when development forgets its duty. The scars of abandoned mines in the north, toxic cleanup left to future generations, profit extracted while the land and the people bear the cost. This time I truly think our government wants to do it differently. I hope Canada will prove that progress and protection can coexist. The nation building in the 21st century means building responsibly. And yet politics will test that promise, as always. And then there is the meeting of the G7 countries. But this time there is something more. Canada has chosen an unusual path, inviting nations beyond the G7 circle, representatives from emerging countries, regional allies, and cross-Pacific partners. A diplomatic experience and a Canadian message to the world. Canada is telling the global community we are open to new partnerships. We are not bound by old frameworks. And we will not be limited by the tension that divides others. Trade, energy, security, and climate are all on the table. And so is trust. For years, global alliances have fractured. The US, under the disaster administration, withdrew from cooperation, then re-entered it. Uncertainty everywhere. Europe struggles with internal divisions too, and the Pacific is watching closely. Mark Carney's foreign policies have been one of diversification. He has reached out to Europe, to Asia, and beyond. The goal? To grow Canadian trade by hundreds of billions over the next decades, outside of the US orbit. Because the lesson of the last decade is clear. Dependence is risk, resilience is strength. And while the US shines in posture, Canada is quietly expanding its network of allies. But with global leadership comes responsibility. Especially on climate, in recent months, critics have questioned Canada's environmental credibility. Has the country traded its climate leadership for economic pragmatism? The government insists, absolutely not. Inside the G7 rooms, Canada continues to push for a low-carbon future. For practical solutions, retrofitting for homes, cleaner buildings, better transit and emission caps for major industries. The 2030 targets are ambitious. 40 to 45% reduction from 2005 levels. But ambition is the point. To reach what others call impossible. Because the alternative is unthinkable. For everybody else but the orange idiot, of course. And so, Canada positions itself as both a realist and reformer, still producing, still innovating, but determined to cut emission sector by sector, step by step. The world is watching to see if Canada's leadership can deliver where others only spread lies and nonsense. To the east, another chapter unfolds. This week, Canada opens a consulate in Nuuk, Greenland's capital. At first glance, a small diplomatic move. But in truth, it's strategic, deeply symbolic, and long overdue. Greenland is more than ice and isolation. It's a growing hub of vital resources, fishery and Arctic shipment lanes, and a vital link in northern security, but also a neighbor that far too long traded across an ocean instead of across a bay. For Greenland, everything from machinery to snowmobiles has passed through Denmark, 4,000 kilometers away. Meanwhile, Canada's ports in Halifax and Iqaluit are just days of sailing away. Geographically makes us natural partners. Economy makes us logical partners. So why now? Because the Arctic is changing, politically, militarily, environmentally. Russia is expanding, China's ambitions are clear, and the US has shown an incredible interest on flirting with the idea of buying Greenland, and in typical Trump's idiotic style, even force was not dismissed. Canada's message is different. We don't claim, we collaborate. We don't occupy, we engage. By opening a consulate, Ottawa is establishing a permanent voice in diplomacy, trade, and Arctic governance. It reassures Denmark, strengthens NATO ties, and builds a bridge to the people of Greenland. And for Greenland, it opened doors to direct trade, shares research and economic independence from a European bottleneck. The Arctic is no longer the world's edge, and Canada intends to be there, present, principled, and prepared. So this week, from the G7 halls of Niagara to the Arctic winds of Nuuk, to the corridors of Parliament in Ottawa, Canada truly stands at a crossroad. Nation building at home, diplomacy abroad, climate action in between. Each decision echoes far beyond our borders, because the world is changing faster than ever. And the question is no longer whether Canada will adapt, but now we choose to lead. Please let me know in the comments below, how excited are you to see the next list of nation-building projects? And how do you feel about Canadians' consulate in Greenland? I think it is another brilliant strategic move of Mark Carney. The orange fascist gangster wanted rulership. Mark Carney got friendship. If you found this video helpful, please hit the subscribe, like and share button. And if you like the channel's deep dive, please ring the bell so you won't miss the next one. Thanks for watching. I'm Wilfried Lemkuller from Europe Curious.
We were petrified, kept thinking we could never live without you by our side. And we spent so many nights thinking how you did us wrong. Now we've banded all together. Your tariff made us strong, and so you know you're not so great. There's not a snowball's chance in hell will be your 51st state. You really need our resources for more than we need you, so now just go. Walk out the door. We do not need you. You're not welcome anymore. Weren't you the one who instigated these trade fights? You'll soon grow to regret. us our own identity, so now just go. We will survive as long as we can think and work. We know we'll stay alive. Yeah, but we really need it. We can live without your greed. We will survive. We will survive. We will survive. Survive.
51st state my fucking ass. Go on, Canola.